Everybody, Chad here. In this video, we're going to talk about why is boredom your enemy to your success in life? Why is being bored is your enemy to being productive? Why is being bored going to even affect your law of attraction, law of abundance? Why is being bored is going to bring down your emotional states or bring down your vibration? Remember, the lower your vibration keeps you farther and farther away from your intentions, keeps you farther away from your wants and your desires and your dreams in your life. Okay, why is being bored so dangerous? Okay. And then that's what we're going to talk about today. I'm going to share just a one-liner sentence from for you from the book, The 4-Hour Work Week by Tim Ferriss. But anyway, it goes like this. Remember, boredom is the enemy, not just some abstract failure. I'll say it one more time. Remember, boredom is the enemy, not some abstract failure. And when I read this, it really kind of spoke loud to me because remember, I've read this book before. This isn't the first time I read the 4-Hour Work Week. And every time I buy a book and any type of personal development, I never resell it. I always keep it. I've created a kind of a pretty nice, a huge personal development library over the years. I've had this book for probably at least a decade. So when I read that little passage, it really spoke to me because I'm getting ready to go to Thailand. I'm leaving tomorrow for Thailand. So I was sitting here reading the book, and it spoke so loud because when I'm thinking about Thailand, this is what I'm kind of thinking about Thailand is I have mixed emotions about Thailand because I've been visiting family for the last year and a half. And so of course I'm going to miss family. Of course I'm excited to go to Thailand. But when I think about Thailand as far as work and working there, working remote, I'm excited because I know I will be more productive in Thailand. So since I've been here for like the year, I've kind of felt like over time, I've kind of felt very unproductive. Okay, it's kind of weird. You would think, well, Chad, when you go to Thailand, you're going to be very unproductive in Thailand. You're not going to be more productive because you're going to be running around doing things and kind of be on vacation, even though I'm going to be there 6 months. So it's not really, yes, it is a vacation, but I'm going to be there, a length of time. So it's not a 2-week vacation. So I'm going to be there 6 months. So some people get confused by that. Like, how are you going to be more productive in Thailand? It doesn't make sense. I think that you would be more unproductive as far as work and success and stuff like that. And when I started thinking about that, and I've kind of struggled with this the last few months here in Ohio, and I've shared it in some of my videos where I kind of feel unproductive here. I kind of feel like I don't feel like doing things. I don't, I work a little bit, of course, but I'm just like not really into it. I have to force myself to do stuff. And I'm kind of excited at Thailand because I feel like, I'm going to be very productive. And I've always been like that. Every time I've been on vacation, I become very productive on vacations. Even if I've done a 2-week vacation, a 3-week vacation, I can remember back when I loved to take cruises, and I've been on a couple of cruises. And I did this cruise one time to Alaska, which if you haven't been on a cruise to Alaska, that's fantastic, by the way. I did a 3-week cruise. And for that whole 3 weeks, I was crazy productive. I was even doing work there and stuff like that and seeing all this stuff. So I was crazy productive, and I've always wondered why. And when I read this, a light bulb popped off because remember, I'll read it again. Remember, boredom is the enemy, not just some abstract failure. Okay, boredom is what causes us to feel unproductive, where our success goes down. It's because we feel bored. Okay. And like when I've been in Ohio, it's okay. It's going to sound bad. Okay. I love being around my family. Okay. It has nothing to do with that. Okay. But lots of times I can get bored, meaning that no matter if I have a job here, if I work second shift, I can become bored because I'm not changing my atmosphere. I'm kind of just, staying very close to my mom and my sister. That's all who I hang out with, all I hang out with my nephew, go to his games and stuff like that. but I'm not really doing anything else besides that because I'm kind of soaking up as much time as I can with them. But I tend to become bored. Plus, they live in the middle of nowhere. They live in farmland. Okay, so you can't just go out like when I used to live in California, Los Angeles. I can't just go out and drive really quickly somewhere, or go for a walk, or walk to Starbucks, or walk places. Or when I lived in Thailand before, where you're kind of living in a small community where you just go out and walk to the beach, jump on your motorbike, and there's little tons of stuff to do, like because you're living in a small town. So I become bored, and this boredom is what basically makes me feel unproductive, kind of what makes me feel like not doing anything because I'm not doing enough stuff. I'm kind of giving up. Since I've been here, I've kind of given up my hobbies. Not really given up my hobbies, but I don't do a whole heck of a lot. And it's basically causing me not feel like doing my work, or work on YouTube, or any of my websites. I've really been struggling with it. But my mind's been focused on Thailand. Or I know I'm going to be so productive in Thailand. And the reason why, really fast, is because when I go to Thailand, the reason why I feel much more productive and I get a lot of stuff done is because I'm constantly doing something. I'm constantly when I lived in Thailand before, because at this time I'm not there yet. So I'll give you an example, a real example here. When I lived in Thailand before, and I lived there for 1 year, but when I would wake up in the morning, I lived in a resort for a year. So when I would wake up, the a buffet breakfast came with the resort. So I would get up, take a shower, maybe read something in a book, or there I kind of listen to a lot of audiobooks. I listened to a lot of audios by Neville Goddard, and then I would go up by the pool, and that's where the buffet breakfast was. Then, then I would, after breakfast, I would come back down, maybe work like an hour. Then I would go buy a smoothie by the beach. I would go walk by the beach, maybe go to the beach. Then I would come back and maybe work for another hour or two. Then I would go do something. Then I would go out at night. So what's happening is I'm constantly doing things. I'm constantly changing my atmosphere. I'm not just mundane, kind of staying in one place, like am here, especially here in Ohio. Now it's November, so it's starting to get cold, winter. So you're gonna start staying indoors way more. You're gonna not go as many places as you would in the summer. So that's what I mean by bored. Like boredom is your enemy. That's why he's saying in this passage, like boredom is your enemy. It's not about you just being a failure or you're not successful. It's usually because looking at your life, looking at what you're doing, it's usually because you're bored. Okay, you're not changing your atmosphere. And I think that's why lots of times what makes me feel when I would go on vacations, what would make me feel very productive, even on vacations. Like sometimes on some vacations, I would actually bring my laptop and I would work a tiny bit, work a couple hours, a few hours, but I felt so much more alive, so much more productive working because I was always doing cool stuff, always going and doing cool stuff. I wasn't just staying in my place and staying in my apartment and kind of feeling like a hermit crab. You know what I mean? Or start feeling like I'm an introvert rather than an extrovert. So that's really what I want to share with you and kind of flip it back to you. I mean, what do you think? Do you think like being bored, like when you're bored, do you think it halts your success? Do you feel like it slows you down? Or do you have another opinion in there? I can only talk about myself, how I feel. Every time I have a vacation, like my productivity increases because when I go, I'm always doing different things. But same way when I go to Thailand tomorrow. Now I'm not living in a resort this time, but I'm pretty much living in a condo resort, and it has a nice pool, but it won't come with a buffet breakfast or anything, but but it will still be kind of the same type of lifestyle where when you're doing a lot of things and you still blend in your hobbies and you're still doing stuff, and you're not becoming so much of a workaholic, it increases your productivity. It seems opposite what I'm, it really, I mean, it really seems opposite, because sometimes it basically comes down to basically the less is more philosophy. It's not always about doing more, more, more. It's not always, I mean, I'm a very hard worker. I can tend to be a workaholic. So lots of times it's not about being a workaholic or doing more, more, more. That's when they say less is more, because less, when you start doing less and you start bringing in more of your hobbies, more of your joys, more of your likes, that you being kind of in a state of joy and happiness, then when you're working more, when you're in the mood, that it brings up, you're very more productive because you're working in a productive state. Got it. But let me know your thoughts below, and I will see you. Probably my next videos are going to be in Thailand, so you're actually, I'll be able to show you Thailand, and be a different scenery, of course, rather than this couch. But anyway, I'll see you in another video, and take care. Blessings to you.